Tokyo Ghoul Chapter 1. The hype that has been welling up inside me since I heard this sequel announced is being satisfied so well right now with this first chapter. I'm so hyped to have Tokyo Ghoul back. I forgot how much I didn't forget. I know I fucking love Tokyo Ghoul, but just reading through this chapter, I forgot how enjoyable it is to fucking read Tokyo Ghoul. Even for the opening chapter where, there was barely any progression, just, speculating on some things, getting to see some old characters, getting introduced to these new characters. I was just hyped, I was feeling it, I was really enjoying it. I can't wait for next chapter. This is going to be an excellent sequel, just as good as the original, I can already tell. Getting into it, I'm going to get into the whole theories of, that are spinning around and everything, but I just want to talk briefly about some of the other new CCG investigators, this new Quincke squad that's under Mado, Akira. And there's clearly a time skip. I knew it would happen. I'm not exactly sure how long it is because, I'm not too sure on the ages. I can't be sure, but when Akira and Sasaki are talking, she's like, they've been instituted as a squad for like many months now. So within a year time skip I'm looking at right now as far as where we're at with this sequel. And the new investigators, the Quincke squad, it seems like the CCG, the higher ups under Washu, and with Arima's assistance and everything, are going the Dr. Kano route and, implementing investigators that, they've spliced with ghoul organs in order to make them sort of half ghoul, half human in the same way that Kaneki was. And I'm gonna get into that whole thing in a second, but I'm liking these new characters. That dude, what's his name? That dude Shirazu. He's really dope. I like his design, the shark teeth and everything like that. Kind of reminded me of like Mellow mixed with like sqaud or some shit like that. So I'm liking his design. He seems like a crazy loose cannon type, definitely of that squad. The leader, well, I guess not the leader. Urei seems really dope as well. Calm, collected. Just goes in easily, deduces who he thinks Torso is based on the cab driver, and he does happen to find himself a ghoul, but we see at the end of the episode that Torso is in fact somebody else, and the dude at the end of that last panel that supposedly Torso looks fucking insane. I can't wait to find out more about him. For an opening arc and like an opening little antagonist that they have to run down, this is good and stable. With the whole Torso thing, so I like that. I'm sure it'll resolve itself in the next couple of chapters. But, and Mitsuki, the girl, Mitsutsuki I believe is her name, she seems very meek and passive, but at the same time, I'm sure she'll go in a fight, but she definitely seems like the weakest of the Quincke squad that we've seen so far. And of course Sasaki, Hisai, the main character that we're being introduced to right now, first class investigator directly under Akira. We see that he has some sort of relationship to Arima, and when Akira and him are talking, she's basically like, you have to raise up, you've been issued with the task of raising up an investigator that can surpass Kisho Arima, and that has to be you if you're ever going to raise somebody up to be that. They have high expectations out of Sasaki right now. Based on Sasaki's demeanor, how he goes about things, saving the ghoul, at the end telling Urei that they shouldn't, based on the articles and everything, they shouldn't be trying to cause excessive violence. The whole little parlay between Akira and him, where she's like, you have to surpass Arima, and then they say, Arima's like wondering when is a good time to return the book that Sasaki lent him, and he's like, he's busy whenever. The whole literature aspect and everything like that. There's theories going around that Sasaki is in fact Kaneki, and I'm gonna hop on that right now as well. I think that is a very valid conclusion, and I think that may very well be what's going on here, based on Arima, what he was tasked with at the very last chapter of part 1. What his, when you see Arima when he supposedly killed Kaneki, he definitely has a lot of compassion towards Kaneki during that scene. and it definitely seems like he has something greater. And I know Kaneki is alive, regardless of if this series is true or not, but this is what I'm thinking right now, that Sasaki is in fact Kaneki. You know, from everything from his design, you know, with the white and black hair being melded together, which, you know, people are saying could hearken to him, you know, coming to accept both parts of himself, and the fact that he was stabbed through his brain and whatnot. Dude could potentially have amnesia or something. If he doesn't have amnesia, he could have been brainwashed. He could be just, you know, doing this as his new, this is what he believes is the right path now. It seems like Sasaki overall has some sort of insight, but it's not really revealed right now. Whether he remembers his past as Kaneki or not is also up in the air. But that seems pretty valid to me, that Sasaki is in fact Kaneki, with amnesia, or, you know, brainwashed, or just, you know, going in with this new path that he's chosen, something of that nature. I'm leaning towards the amnesia bit. That sounds good to me. And if Sasaki is in fact not Kaneki, then he will have some relation to Kaneki come the time that Kaneki returns, because either that it'll be revealed that Sasaki is Kaneki, or Kaneki will come back at a later point. So I'm really liking the setup for this chapter. Seeing Akira get some command, you know, we get hints and things to some other old characters like Hirako and the Hirako squad. At the very beginning in those color pages, you see Hinami with Ayato, which leads me to a bunch of other questions. Is Ayato still part of Aogiri? If he is, then that means Hinami is now working with them. What's changed in this last year that would lead to such a development, and what's going on behind the scenes here? What are they trying to accomplish? I'm really curious about that. I can't really think of any reason for Hinami to willingly want to join Aogiri, especially since, even though Anteku was destroyed, it was, you know, they still reunited the people from Anteku, you know, the Devil Ape and that other lady, I forget their names, and whatnot. They were still kind of reunited and everything. It seemed like they were going good, like they could bounce back, get Anteku back on his feet eventually. But Hinami being with Ayato just leads me to a bunch of questions as to what Ayato's purpose is now if he's still with Aogiri. Is Hinami part of Aogiri now? Where I want to see Aogiri moving now soon, because you see this whole push for the Quincke squad, and them trying to raise up even more powerful CCG investigators, because Aogiri is gaining so much power apparently within this world, and they have to go in. Also, like being in the first ward, getting some different scenery, just seeing some differences to an already great established world that I knew I could never, you know, pull myself away from. I'm glad that we have this back. Just, it's so good. It's so fucking good. The art, it's nice to have this series start out with strong art. It's not at the same level quite as, you know, the latter chapters of part 1, but it's pretty much almost there. Not even anywhere close to reverting back to that art style that he had at the very beginning of part 1, because, you know, ISHIDA has come so fucking far as an artist, and you can really see that with this first chapter. It's looking beautiful. Really want to get my hands on that illustration book, Tokyo Ghoulzaki, because that sounds like it's going to have some dope stuff in there. But let me know what you guys thought of this first chapter. Theories as to, you know, this whole Sasaki and Kaneki relation, with them being the same person. I personally think that that's a valid theory, and I'm going to go with that for the time being. I think that that is going to come to fruition at some point. Just all the hype and mystery around him, his relation with Arima, and Akira's expectations for him and everything, just his demeanor, the whole literature aspect, everything like that, and his design, obviously, with the white and black hair. Let me know what you thought of the other new Quincke squad investigators. That dude Urie, like I said, is a fucking baller. I like him, and it seems like he has some sort of contention between him and Sasaki, so I'm interested to see how that plays out. If you have not read this chapter yet, I don't know why you're watching this video, but go read it. It was fucking good. I'm gonna give it 8 out of 10 for an opening chapter. Still lots of questions that we will not get the answers to anytime soon, but the setup for this new Tokyo Ghoul scene is beautiful. I can't wait to see how it all plays out. So hyped for next chapter, and, you know, the whole torso thing. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought, and that's pretty much it. I'm out. Peace.